All right. Welcome back to the Tool World Podcast. I'm your host, David Ju. I'm here with Master Ju. Sorry, let me say that again. Grandmaster Ju.
Well, hello there, Mr. Ju.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going okay. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Same old, same old.
Yes. All right. This week, I had a question for you.
Okay. Another question. That's
yeah,
awesome.
another kind of question.
Did they actually type it on YouTube?
No. This
Sent
one's
you an
coming from
email,
myself.
This
is coming from me. I'm asking you.
All right.
I want to know your opinion. You know, at a certain point, you get to a certain rank.
Okay.
Okay. And then, you know, you could be fourth, fifth, sixth master. And it's not uncommon where you are in a seminar alongside with other masters or instructors.
Oh, absolutely.
And everybody in that room has 20, 30, 40 years of experience.
Right.
Now, we do have someone that's like leading the instruction. They're leading the seminar. I mean, it's not just like a free-for-all workshop. All right. It's not like an open gym kind of thing, but it's an actual seminar, right? Now, there are definitely going to be things that maybe you teach a little bit different.
Sure.
Maybe you've heard things a little different.
Absolutely.
Right? So what is the proper etiquette in these seminars if I'm a student learning?
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh. Well, you know, I think one of the student-instructor relationship is never to criticize your instructor. And so,
well, okay, in this scenario, I mean, they're not like your instructor. They're just like a high rank that's
instructor
there, you know.
or
high
senior
rank. Okay,
right? And so that I think that's a little tricky in a way sometimes because you obviously sometimes you say something and it's not right. I mean, I think we actually have a video where I said something like right walking stance and it was an L stance. And it's like, oh, wow, did I say that? Even though I probably knew.
Well, I mean, some of those things are like just those kind of things. Like sometimes people say like the wrong pattern name. So they're referencing a technique from a pattern. They say the wrong pattern. I don't see that as something wrong to say like, oh, I think you meant one yo, right, sir? No. Because that's a very basic kind of thing, right?
Right. I'm just using that as kind of an extreme. Is that what you do in a way, even though you are correcting them, but just imagine you as an instructor or you're that's presenting that. Are we there to argue or are we there to share? And so maybe you say those kind of things, it puts them on the spot, right? It's like, oh, did I not know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And so in some ways you're kind of like criticizing them.
Okay.
In some ways. We make those mistakes. I make tons of those mistakes all the time. And if you're not used to it, I would say if you're not used to it, like hearing people say that, it can be really hard. A new instructor, and they say something and someone says, no, that's one yo, or something like that. I mean, that's real fundamental, I'm just talking about. And that, I can imagine just seeing that instructor, because I've been down that road, it's like, you just corrected me,
Right.
And so you're putting people on the spot like that. I'm not sure if that's really your original question, but I'm kind of leading up to that.
Yeah, right.
So you shouldn't really criticize the instructor or your seniors as they're leading that class. They're trying to bring a point across. Now, sometimes they open it up. Do you have any questions about this?
And that's a great time to ask that.
And you could
but
ask
I think
those
it has
questions.
to be addressed as a question and not more so like a statement.
Right.
You got to be open to this kind of learning.
Absolutely. Sometimes I ask and I try to say just a clarification on a particular technique. Are you saying that it's performed this way and not this way? As opposed to necessarily making us say, well, no, I've been teaching it this way. Is that a statement or is that a correction or is that a question? You follow what I'm saying? And so, I think we do have to be a little bit careful.
Well, yeah, because there is a hierarchy to everything. I mean,
absolutely.
You don't want to be defying the person that's leading it or the top person either, too. Right?
Absolutely. So that's not the time to argue with someone.
Yeah, you can get dinner and drinks after it. And then you can argue about it if you want.
You can argue about it. If my senior is saying it's done this way, you say, yes, sir. Okay. And you could ask, just a double clarification here, sir. It's perform this, what you're saying is that it's this, and I just need to verify this, right? Maybe that's the way to handle that. I mean, that's a tricky situation as well as like when people go ask for rank. People really shouldn't ask for rank. Rank is really a privilege, and you move on to the next rank when you are. But you do have people that ask, and that's not really the right time to ask. Or how would you phrase that? Because sometimes I think seniors or instructors forget about their students. Days go on. It just seems like yesterday it was, 2020.
Yeah.
In some ways,
yeah.
It's like, what day is today? It's like, when's the last time I saw you? It just goes so fast sometimes, and you don't even realize. So we do need to be reminded about certain things. We don't have that kind of an issue in our studio because we kind of have a system, right? It tags people like, oh no, this person's been here for X, Y, Z, or they've been those kind of things. But then you have other instructors who may not. So how do you do that?
I think we're kind of diverging into a different point here. There's a couple of different points, but I do want to say like sometimes you do have instructors and they're all similar kind of rank,
right,
and similar amount of training and things like that. And you do have one person kind of leading the group, and maybe they say something wrong, or maybe they're not sure of something. But I think those things are better kept for after the discussion. And then you can always go back and reteach the students, or correct it about how you want it performed.
Exactly.
Right? But you don't need to have a heated discussion, during that training session too.
Yeah, don't have a heated discussion at that moment in time. I mean, there's only a finite amount of time as well during a seminar. You could argue about something all day long. And so you really do kind of need to move forward. I think just having nice etiquette and just kind of listen and move on with that. If you need a clarification, get a clarification.
All right. How about this one for another question
another
here?
One.
Someone's demonstrating a pattern.
Right.
The head instructor is correcting that pattern. The person that's demonstrating the patterns, he's okay. He or she's okay. Can you go and raise your hand and you're like, that needs to be corrected as well? Because maybe the head instructor didn't correct something, let's just say, in this scenario. You know what I'm saying, right?
I kind of understand what you're saying because I've been in similar situations or, something like that. I would, there's a time and place for everything. And when you have a senior rank that's still leading, it's not our place as a junior to be correcting a senior at that moment.
Well, he's not correcting the senior. He's correcting the guy that's demonstrating there. Yeah.
I understand, but what you're saying in a way is that here I am, I'm correcting someone, and someone else has to chime in and say, what about that? What about that? It's like, in a way, it's kind of like saying, did you miss that? You're not a good instructor.
Yeah.
Because you're not explaining everything. Well, maybe he doesn't have enough time, or maybe, it's hard to say. But in some ways, you're like putting your 2 cents when it's not your place to put 2 cents in. It's kind of what I'm saying. I mean, this is kind of not exactly that situation, but a student would come and ask me about certain things. I would be helping. And then all of a sudden, I have someone else come in, and they have to chime in their 2 cents. Okay, well, you know what? That person didn't ask you. They asked me. Right. But I'm happy to go, no, listen, I'm moving right on. So
well, I'm happy to just walk away.
No, I am happy to walk
whatever.
away sometimes. But sometimes I think, it kind of makes me wonder, do I do that? I don't know. Try not to. I just think when people don't want to know about something, if they didn't ask for your opinion, then why give it to them?
Yeah.
But, okay. I did say something to somebody one time. So he was doing competition. I noticed a technique, and it was a really nice pattern.
Okay.
Right? And he's punching, and it's like his wrist did something, and I just said, you might just watch that.
Yeah.
And he was nice enough to say, oh, thank you, sir. And then, but I could tell on his face, I didn't really want to be corrected. kind of a thing.
Yeah. I know that feeling too.
That's like-
yeah.
Oh, have you had some?
Yeah, I'm sure that's happened before. Yeah.
You know, well, anyway, yeah. I don't know if that answers the question.
Right.
Proper
Alright,
etiquette,
proper
yeah.
etiquette.
Yeah, just respect the seniors, and if the senior didn't ask your opinion on it,
Right.
yeah, don't chime in.
Right.
Okay.
Don't forget that we have the U.S. Open coming up August 1st.
That's right.
In Las Vegas, Nevada. The registration just opened now, and the
Got a
IIC.
lot of interest in both.
Yeah, and the IIC
know.
in New Jersey on October 23rd to 25th, and we'll see you guys there. Don't forget to be safe,
Keep
and
training.
we'll see you guys next time.
Taekwon.